An investigation into the Air Algérie crash, is going forward. It was the third major crash in recent days in what has been a tragic week for the aviation industry and for families around the world. Arise News' Fraser Gibson has this report.
Another air tragedy, and once again the world watches in horror as footage begins to emerge from the site of yet another international plane crash. This time the twisted metal and scorched earth is in the deserts of Mali, West Africa, and from the air, the scale of the latest incident becomes all too apparent. French authorities have now confirmed that all 116 people on board Air Algérie flight AH5017 have died after the wreckage of the plane that went missing en route to Algeria has been located in Mali. French soldiers were the first to reach the wreckage and announced that they had retrieved the plane's 2 black boxes, but that all passengers had perished. 51 of the passengers on board are French nationals, and this morning, President François Hollande offered his condolences to the families.
Mesdames, Messieurs, l'avion d'Air Algérie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Air Algérie plane, on which there were 51 French nationals, was found last night in Gossi, in the east of Mali, on the border with Burkina Faso. French troops have secured the location and started preliminary investigations. Unfortunately, there are no survivors. I share in the family's pain, who are going through a terrible time.
Et ont procédé aux premières investigations.
The Air Algérie plane was travelling from Burkina Faso's capital Ouagadougou to the Algerian capital Algiers when it vanished around 50 minutes into the flight. There were reports of large storms in the region at the time, and Burkina Faso transport authorities confirmed that the pilot had asked for permission to change route around 20 minutes into the flight. The wreckage found today has been located in the Malian town of Gossi, some 50 kilometres north of the Burkina Faso border. Despite the fact that armed groups operate in the area where the plane was found, investigators are increasingly certain that the plane was not downed by an attack, although as yet this possibility still hasn't been officially ruled out. For the families who were desperately waiting for news of their loved ones, there is now the tragic realisation that all are lost. It has been a disastrous month for airlines. The disappearance of the Air Algérie aircraft comes after the Malaysian Airlines plane was shot down near the Ukraine-Russian border, and the Trans-Asia Airways crash in Taiwan that killed 48 people. But for now, all eyes are on Air Algérie and the search for the clues in this latest air disaster. Fraser Gibson, Arise News.
Ambassador Seydou Bouda is Burkina Faso's ambassador to the United States, and he joins us from Washington, D.C. Ambassador Bouda, welcome to Arise America, and thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. Let me just start by asking, how many victims were there from Burkina Faso, and can you tell us any details about those victims?
Thank you for having me today. As you said, this week was a very dark week for the international civil aviation, with Ukraine, with Taiwan, with Burkina Faso, Air Algérie crash in Mali yesterday. To talk about the victims, Burkina Faso has 27 citizens in the crash.
It is such a tragedy. Can you tell me what is Burkina Faso doing as a country to honor these victims?
Well, the Burkina Faso authorities, as you know, adopted a national condolence day for 2 days, starting this morning until Sunday. So it is what the authorities decide in Burkina Faso. Also, they are taking in charge the families of victims. But for the future, we have to wait a little bit to know all the details of the measures the government will take to to honor the victims and to take in charge the families.
Indeed. You know, many believe that it was weather that caused this crash. Of course, that will be confirmed after an investigation, but can you tell me a little bit of what the weather is like in that area at this time of the year?
Yes. As you know, in the Sahel region right now, it is a rainy season, and we have a big storms, and at this period, the planes coming from Europe to Burkina Faso have to cross what we call the intertropical front. And this front is a little bit movemented at some period of the year, like right now. And probably the plane entered in a big storm, and he crashed after that.
It is such a terrible tragedy. Our thoughts and condolences go to you and to the people of Burkina Faso. Ambassador Seydou Bouda, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
We wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.